So my name is Erica Hanselman, and I was born and raised here in Arizona, and my parents still live here in the same house that I grew up in since kindergarten. So this is really my home, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So I was married to my now ex-husband, who I thought was the love of my life. That was the story he sold me on, and I thought I was so lucky, and I used to brag about how lucky I was. And I thought I had this perfect person and how lucky I was, and then it ended up turning into my worst nightmare and something that I wouldn't wish anybody had to go through. Found out that he not only cheated on me throughout my entire marriage, which I did catch a couple times, but was having a 4-month affair, and came home at the end of March and told me that he was leaving me for the person he was having an affair with, and left and turned into a completely different person I'd never met. It was like I was dealing with this complete monster. It was extremely traumatic. Emotionally, like I was dead. I felt like I was being forced to live and walk around and continue like nothing happened, even though I felt just completely devastated. But I had my kids, and so I kept going for them. A week after all that, I found out that he was hiding drinking again, and he was supposed to be sober, and he was drinking in grocery store parking lots and going and picking up my son. Once I found that out, my gears switched to I have to protect our daughter. I created the consent decree. He agreed to sign it because he knew everything that I had about his drinking problem. So then that is how I came to meet Goldie. So with all of the trauma that I had gone through, I knew I wanted a female, and I just researched and found her, and she had really good reviews. So I set up a consultation, and I hired her immediately, and she got right to work on my case and put me in contact with Josh, who was amazing and such a rock for me during a really emotional and chaotic time. So Josh was amazing and answered any time I called, answered any questions I had, was super reassuring, and Goldie same would answer any questions that I had. And then in trial, she knew everything backwards and forwards about everything that I had been through with my ex-husband, and she just tore him to shreds on the stand and all of his lies, which was amazing. And it felt like she was protecting a daughter, not just a client. I watched her bio and I listened to her story, and she had kind of been through something similar, and she had a daughter, and so I just knew that she would understand my fight and my wanting to keep my daughter safe. Throughout this whole process, I've been in therapy. I'm a huge advocate for that. So that's helped a lot, and then having the legal team that took care of all of that for me, and I knew that they had my back and were fighting, and I didn't have to worry about that piece. I could really focus on my healing and being there for my kids and getting through all of this. So now that we came out victorious, I guess, in our winning and getting the consent decree upheld in court, I just feel at peace, and I'm able to finally move on. I felt like I was kind of just latched in this like not knowing if I was gonna have to go to this other battle with him, or if the consent decree was gonna get upheld and it was gonna be done. So it's just been nice to be able to breathe finally and have this piece put behind me. So going through this is obviously unexpected, and it rocks you to your core. So I would say make sure you have a really good support system, but hiring a really good lawyer is such a cherry on top of everything, because they really take a lot off of your plate and they help you fight. And specifically with Goldie and Josh, they really balance each other very, very well. They fought phenomenally for me, and I felt very heard, I felt very seen, I felt like they knew what my fight was and they knew why it was important, and it felt like it was just as important to them. So I would recommend Genesis Legal Group to anyone. Every interaction that I've had in calling the front desk to get things taken care of, billing questions, anything, they've been super kind and helpful, and I feel like if Goldie and Josh are that amazing, I would imagine that the other lawyers here are as well. But I would definitely recommend this law firm to anybody.